Crypto. Decoded. You've heard the word 1,000 times. Crypto, Bitcoin, blockchain, on the news, from that one friend who won't stop talking about it, in ads telling you you're still early. But here's the strange part. Almost nobody can actually explain what it is. Not the hype, not the price, the thing. So in the next 15 minutes, you're going to get the whole map. Every big piece, how it fits together, and just as important, where it breaks. No jargon you can't follow, no one trying to sell you a coin. Let's decode it. Quick important note before we start. Everything here is for education only. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is advice to buy, sell, or invest in anything. We're here to understand how it works, not what to do with your money. Cool? Here's the map. We'll start with a weirdly simple question. What even is money? And end with the real promise and the real risks of this whole experiment. Each stop unlocks the next. Stick around to the end and the entire world of crypto will finally click. Forget crypto for a second. What is money? A $20 bill isn't worth $20 because of the paper. It's worth it because everyone agrees it is, and because you trust that the system behind it won't suddenly print a billion more and make yours worthless. Now think about the money in your bank. That number on your screen, it's just an entry in your bank's database. You don't physically have the money. The bank says you do. The whole system runs on trusted middlemen. Banks, payment companies, governments, they keep the ledger, the master list of who owns what, and we trust them to keep
it honest. And mostly, that works. But mostly has cracks. Banks fail. Accounts get frozen. In 2008, a financial crisis showed the world what happens when the trusted middlemen get it badly wrong. And that's exactly where our story begins, with a question hanging in the air. What if you didn't need to trust a middleman at all? In 2008, an anonymous person or group calling themselves Satoshi Nakamoto published a 9-page document. The idea inside was a new kind of ledger. Picture a shared notebook. Every transaction gets written in it. But instead of one bank keeping the notebook, thousands of computers around the world each keep an identical copy. There's no master copy. There's no single owner. That's a blockchain. Here's why it's nearly impossible to cheat. Entries are bundled into blocks. Each block is sealed with a kind of digital fingerprint called a hash, and that fingerprint is based partly on the block before it. Chain them together, and every block locks in the one behind it. So if someone tries to quietly change an old entry, say to hand themselves extra coins, the fingerprint breaks, the chain breaks, and the thousands of other copies instantly disagree. The fake gets rejected. No editing the past, no central bank, just a record everyone shares and nobody can secretly rewrite.
That's the breakthrough. Everything else in crypto is built on top of it. The first thing ever built on a blockchain was Bitcoin, digital money with no bank behind it. Its headline feature, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That number is written into the code, and unlike a government, no one can decide to make more. New coins are released slowly, and every 4 years or so, that release rate gets cut in half, an event called the halving. As of filming, we're most of the way there. Over 90% of all the Bitcoin that will ever exist has already been created. That hard limit is why supporters call it digital gold, scarce, a possible store of value. But, and the hype rarely mentions this, it's also famously volatile. Its price can swing wildly, payments can be slow, and the original version uses a lot of energy. Digital gold or a risky gamble? People argue about that endlessly. Our job isn't to settle it, it's to make sure you understand why people argue. And now you do. But hold on. If no bank is in charge, who actually checks the transactions? Who stops me from spending the same coin twice? Here's the clever part. The network is secured by strangers who don't trust each other, using one of two methods. The first is proof of work, used by Bitcoin. Computers worldwide race to solve a hard math puzzle, burning real electricity to do it. The winner adds the next block and earns some new coins. Cheating would cost more in power than it's worth,
So honesty pays. The catch? All that computing uses a lot of energy. The second is proof of stake. Instead of burning electricity,
Validators lock up their own coins as a deposit. Misbehave, and you lose the deposit. In 2022, Ethereum switched from the first method to the second and cut its energy use by over 99%. Two different answers to the same question. How do you get strangers to agree without trusting any single one of them? Which brings us to the second giant, Ethereum. If Bitcoin is digital money, Ethereum is a world computer. Its big idea is the smart contract. A smart contract is just a program that lives on the blockchain and runs automatically when its conditions are met. Think of a vending machine. You don't trust a cashier. You put in the right amount, press the button, and the machine has to give you the snack. Smart contracts are vending machines for agreements. If this happens, then automatically do that. And once it's deployed, no one can stop it or change their mind. This unlocked a whole universe of apps that run with no company in the middle. They're called dApps. The trade-off? Running code on a global computer isn't free. Every action costs a small fee, paid in Ethereum's coin, that people nickname gas. Money that can run its own rules. That's the door Ethereum opened, and a lot walked through it. Including a flood of new cryptos. Quick clarification that trips everyone up. Coins versus tokens. A coin is the native currency of its own blockchain. Bitcoin on Bitcoin, Ether on Ethereum. A token is something built on top of an existing blockchain, usually Ethereum, using a shared template. And here's the wild part. With that template, almost anyone can create a token in an afternoon. That's why there isn't a handful of cryptocurrencies. There are tens of thousands, and most of them aren't really coins at all. Some tokens do genuinely useful things. Some let holders vote on a project's decisions, and some, the meme coins, are built purely for hype, with nothing behind them. The ease of making one is the magic and the danger. If anyone can mint a token in an afternoon, anyone can mint a scam. An afternoon, too. Hold that thought. Now, crypto has a problem we've already bumped into. Prices bounce around like crazy. Hard to use something as everyday money if a coffee costs you 10 coins today and 2 tomorrow. The fix is a stablecoin, a crypto designed to always be worth about $1. How? The common version is simple. For every digital dollar issued, the company behind it promises to hold one real dollar, or something safe like short-term government debt, in reserve. You trust the coin because you trust the backing. Stablecoins are now huge, a market worth hundreds of billions, used as the cash people park between trades, and to move money across borders fast. But notice what just happened. We removed the middleman with Bitcoin, and here we've quietly invited a new one back, the company holding the reserves. A stablecoin is only as stable as whatever's actually backing it. And when that backing is just code and a promise instead of real assets, that's where one of crypto's most spectacular disasters happened. We've got a whole episode on it. Two more pieces you've definitely heard shouted about. First, DeFi, decentralized finance. The pitch, everything a bank does. Lending, borrowing, earning interest, but run by smart contracts instead of a bank, open to anyone around the clock. The upside is real, no gatekeepers. The downside is just as real. No bank means no one to call when something breaks, no fraud department, and if a hacker finds a bug in the code, the money can vanish for good. Second, NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Strip away the hype, and an NFT is just a tamper-proof receipt on a blockchain that says you own a specific digital item. In 2021, people paid millions for NFT artwork. The bubble burst spectacularly, but the underlying idea, provable ownership of digital things like event tickets or records, is quietly useful. The tech wasn't the joke. What some people did with it was. Okay, if you actually hold crypto, where does it live? This is the piece people get most wrong. Your crypto isn't inside a wallet, like cash in a purse. It lives on the blockchain. Your wallet just holds the keys to it. There are two keys. Your public key is like your mailbox address, safe to share. It's how people send you crypto. Your private key, usually backed up as a string of words called a seed phrase, is the actual key to the mailbox. Whoever has it controls the funds. Full stop.
So you've got a choice. Let an exchange hold your keys for you. Convenient, but if that company collapses or gets hacked, your coins can go with it. Or hold the keys yourself. Total control, but if you lose that seed phrase, there's no support line, no password reset, no one who can recover it. It's gone. Not your keys, not your coins. That's the crypto saying. Real freedom and real responsibility in the same sentence. So step back and look at the whole map. What is crypto, actually? At its core, it's one big experiment in replacing trust in people with trust in code. Instead of a bank keeping the ledger, thousands of computers do. Instead of a cashier enforcing a deal, a smart contract does. And that idea is genuinely powerful. Money that moves anywhere, instantly. Finance open to anyone with a phone.
Holding your own value, no permission needed. But that same removal of the middleman is where the danger lives. No middleman means no safety net. Prices swing violently. Hacks are permanent. Lose your keys and your money's gone. And because anyone can launch a token, scams are everywhere. We'll show you exactly how to spot them. Governments are catching up too. New rules are arriving, like the US Genius Act and Europe's MiCA. Though, as of filming, a lot of the fine print is still being written, so we'll always give you the latest. The honest takeaway isn't crypto good or crypto bad. It's here's how it works, here are the risks, now you can think for yourself. And that's the map. But a map isn't the territory. Each of these pieces has a story worth understanding on its own. So we built a whole series, Crypto Decoded. 12 episodes in order, each one taking a single piece and making it click. How blockchain actually works. Why Bitcoin is capped at 21 million. How a stablecoin can crash to zero. How crypto scams really operate and how to spot them in seconds. They're all in the playlist, built to be watched start to finish. The next one, episode 1, How Blockchain Actually Works, is right there on the screen. Tap it and let's keep decoding. And before you go, quick question I'm genuinely curious about. Do you actually own any crypto? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe if you want the rest of the series as it drops. Remember, education only, never financial advice. I'll see you in the next one.